Hello, I'm Heather Carlisle, and welcome to Future Fit Leadership for Women. It's a delight for Lynn McCracken, Pamela Twigg, and I to share this with you. And to welcome you, I'll read you a poem I wrote on the body temple, which is the lover in us. All of infinity houses me. The wonders of the universe move within. I live in divinity embodied. Everything small and great, soft and hard, is enfolded in my skin. I'm a temple of the stars of dark and light and color and mist. As above, so below. I grow and glow as nature shows. The world, my school, I can sense and see, but closer to me, I sense it all. So I'm free to explore and know. My senses open and I show I'm below. The Creator is alive in each atom given to my body and brain. It's but for me to know, to look and learn the tender and telling workings which illustrate and inform that my norm is beauty in form, like a mirror reflecting infinity, inviting my play and wonder to taste, touch, scent, sight, and sound. My being, filled with so much that dancing, singing, and laughing abound, with my whirling around in orbits of molecules, the spinning, the rotating, the next, and the returns, just to begin again in circles and cycles, ever present and inviting, welcoming, demonstrating. Start anywhere I dare. The scents, flowers, and fresh air, the sights, fingers, and faces, the sounds, breezes, and sneezes, the taste, chocolate and chili, the touch, hands, and sand. My lover wrote this poem from a place of passionate gratitude for having a human body and a life on this beautiful planet Earth. And we are using archetypes at work to introduce the depths of all of our dimensions, but today, the lover. And so next, Lynn is going to talk about the tool we're using, the Archetypes at Work tool. Lynn?
Yes. I'm really excited to introduce this tool to you. It is one of the many tools that we use to help our clients to understand that we have within us so much potential, and often it's untapped potential that we haven't even discovered yet. And so these five realms contain 10 universal archetypes that are within each of us. And so you don't have to add anything new, you already have it within you. And our goal is to help you have the keys to open the doors to each of these archetypes.
Next.
And so there are five realms. The first
Oh,
realm
sorry.
is relationships. And today we're going to talk about lover. And there's another archetype within the relationship realm called nurturer. And there are in each of these realms there are two. So in order, we have strategist and sovereign. Two different ways of approaching how to prioritize things. Then we have action. We've got explorer and warrior. Also, two completely different ways of approaching the same thing, getting into action. And then we move into change. We have transformer who approaches change in a slow unfolding of this, like the seasons. And we have renegade, which is all about change that happens really fast. And then we have the creativity realm, which has storyteller and dreamer. And none of these archetypes work alone. We will show you how to activate each of these archetypes and how to use them in conjunction with one another to lead in a way that feels like it's more holistic, like it's more fully you showing up.
Next.
And archetypal psychology teaches that patterns within individuals and cultures that they run the show invisibly. So this is our subconscious, our personality, our autopilot is kind of running the show. There are certain archetypes that we prefer, that we lean on, and that are kind of our go-tos. But this method offers an ability for us to actually break out of our normal patterns.
And this method is very unique. It offers an embodied language that makes these patterns conscious. And so, in this introductory um, offering to you, including the lover, Pamela is going to show us how to embody the lover.
The unique archetypes at work experiential learning method first teaches people to recognize archetypal patterns in themselves and others. So, with us, what we're going to be doing with you is we're unpacking these one by one so that you can start to recognize and see how you're showing up. And then later, the wonderful thing is that becomes what we call you develop your own archetypal I. And the more you recognize in you and know what's going on, you realize and you start to see it around you and you interact with others differently because you're recognizing which archetypes might be showing up for them.
Yes, and it helps leaders develop and embody appropriate patterns so that you can actually meet whatever demands are showing up, whether it's in your life or in your work.
And so, here are the 10 roles. They're on page 3 of your handout, so that you can get a quick little introduction to all 10, the way Lynn introduced them. And then next, we're going to go to asking the question from ourselves next. Who are you today? And why are you here today? And so we would like to hear from you. And each one of us wants to introduce who we are and why we're here today. And so I'm Heather Carlisle. I'm a teacher, an educator, a psychotherapist. And why I'm here is I have been using archetypes pretty much my whole career. I know that they are magical because they're so transformational so quickly and thoroughly. So it is my best way to teach deeply. And I feel fortunate to be part of introducing these to you. And so, Pamela, who are you and why are you here today?
Thank you, Heather. I'm Pamela Twigg. I am many things, as we'll talk about. I'm an executive coach, leadership development. I worked in the corporate world for 20 years. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a lover. I'm all of these things. And why am I here today? It's because when I was first exposed to this methodology, I realized that it gives you so much opportunity, and anyone, and I truly believe that anyone can change a pattern and a behavior if they know how. This is a blueprint for how. And each archetype helps us to align with our purpose. And when we're aligned with our purpose, whether that be work or privately, we're more fulfilled and we show up in that space for others. And so that's why I'm here. I want to teach you and show you how and help you connect with your own purpose so that you're able to show up in the world differently. We need that so much today. That's why I'm here. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Pamela. Lynn.
Yes. And I'm Lynn McCracken. I've also been in private practice as a psychotherapist for many years. I'm a singer-songwriter and a mom and a lover as well. And I am passionate about this methodology because it makes what I've been doing for so many years accessible, relatable. I believe this is very much what they call in the psychotherapy world parts work. Like if you've heard of internal family systems, it's also Enneagram, which is all traced all the way back to the Sufis. And this new methodology just helps make those old perennial wisdom-based methodologies that we've been using just one-on-one with clients in a room, it makes it a lot more accessible and fun to work with in groups because it's less intimidating and it's less personal and it's more relatable because we recognize these characters in the movies that we watch, in the TV shows, in our own lives. And so we can tap into these different parts of ourselves and we're not just stuck in one role, one boring role that we've been playing our whole lives. It unlocks the potential for us to be able to show up in all the ways in a multifaceted way because we are all so much more than what the mask that we show the world.
Aren't you excited? So today, slide, we're going to dive into the relationship realm and the lover. The next one will be the nurturer, and Pamela will walk us into embodying the nurturer. So the lover has many dimensions, not just the romantic lover. Slide. What we're going to look at is the whole lover, which means the gifts and the shadows. So the gifts I'm going to share with you today, not the shadows, because I want you to start expanding your sense of the lover of life. And so, yes, it's sensual and romantic, but it's also sociable. It's also passionate. And it's about self-worth and net worth that gives us that. We love design, we love beauty, luxury. And one of the things that I remind us of is the personal things can awaken the sensitivity to those gifts. Like I'm careful, and I have been careful with the personal things my hands touch. Simple things, but are they beautiful? That's consciously bringing the gift of the lover. And like Lynn does, as a singer-songwriter, the beauty of the music and the songs that she brings. And, you know, Pamela is a mom and a wife at the highest level of her devotion right now. And she's living the lover not only for her coaching clients, but her personal life. And so let's just quickly say, what's too little, Pamela?
It really, for me, too little shows up in lack of self-worth and really starting, you can notice that you're not tapping enough into the lover or talk about myself is when I start to have this sense of, why don't they like me? That really, to me, touches deeply. Too little shadow, too little lover is people don't like me. Why don't they like me? And that feeling that comes with it.
Beautiful. Now, do you see how that's a shadow? And it's too little lover. And Lynn, what's too much lover?
And too much is you can picture this. We have lots of examples of this in our culture, like the Kardashians. They're like, everybody loves me. I have everything. I've got diamonds and gold and all of the best outfits. And look at my booty. It's so round, and everyone desires to be around me.
You get it? Isn't she great? So, slide. The lover really is about relationships, and this is the relationship realm. And when we listen to the greatest living philosopher, Dr. Ian McGilchrist, he says life for humanity really is relationships. 3 relationships. Relationships with people, with the planet Earth, and with the divine. Next. So the lover is all of these things that we love, the love of life. We love love. We love being in love. Truth. We love truth. We love the force of life that's passionate and energizing. Romance, of course. Power comes from caring, from love. Beauty, loving beauty. Having an abundance mentality where we see we can stretch out. There's so much to love. Having, we call it the twins. Passionate people have the twins of both joy and ecstasy and grief and sorrow. So we can be passionate, have all our feelings. Of course, in the deepest, broadest parts of ourselves, it's gratitude. And Pamela would call that a hack. Gratitude is the hack that goes right immediately into lover. When we're in love with life and people and the divine, we are a social attractor. People just want to be around us. They want to be in the same room because they want to feel it too. It awakens it in us when we're around someone who is floating and immersed in delight of life. We're inspiring in that way. And we think about the desired future we're in love with now and our possibilities. Slide. So here we go. This is my living the lover in the romantic way. And this was my beloved Jack, my beloved twin soul. And then the lover also, next, is the lover of beauty. Aren't these lotuses exquisite? They're thrilling when we really look at any kind of a flower. And so right now, I've got this exquisite pink rose. It's, every time my eyes gaze past it, I love something beautiful. Next, here's passion. Passion, remember, it's both the twins, the grief and the joy. And passion expresses everything deeply. And this fabulous singer has a passion in music. She's very well known and she takes it many cities. Next. We have love, passion for our culture. And so here's an example of carefully loving every possible small thing about exemplifying grace, elegance, and a dedication to preserving the ancient traditions in Japan's Kyoto. Next. And of course, we all love our planet Earth and the animals and the trees and everything. It's so simple quickly to get into love there. Next. And here's a romantic thing, because I started out living on a small homestead, and our hayfield was a landing strip. So I started out with the romance of flying a small aircraft myself, and watching the bush pilots with their stories. And here we have Lieutenant Commander Amanda Lee. She's the first Blue Angel stunt pilot. Isn't that romantic? Okay, because we wouldn't think about this as the romantic, but it is. It's the lover of life. Next. And of course, here we dissolve into the true love of all things. One of the millions of images of the magnificent, that which inspires the lover's awe and wonder, the magic and the magnificence of great love for the divine. Next. So we've introduced you to this, and here is how we kind of assess, okay, where am I? Am I in the optimal zone of the lover? Am I too much? Am I too little? Pamela and Lynn already made you feel this, right? So what our goal is with the lover is to help you figure out where you are and how you want to move towards the optimal zone where you're in your own gifts. So next, here are the lover activating statements. Lynn, would you introduce this as to how we use it?
Yes. So in your workbook on page 9, you will find these activating statements. And so one of the best ways to practice, to just play around with embodying lover, is to start with your thoughts. And here are some thoughts that you can read through, and you can ask yourself, which one resonates with me? Not all of them will resonate, and that's okay. And so that's why there are many. And so I'm choosing today, I am committed to living a passionate life. That is the statement that I'm going to use for this next exercise to show you how we embody lover. And that is the thing that's different about this archetypes at work, that we're trying to introduce how to go from just our head into our heart, into our body, which then affects our emotions and how we show up in the world. So I am committed to living a passionate life is the statement I'm going to use in the mental aspect of the 4D model, which will be on the next slide.
Next. There we go.
And so when you look at the interlinking aspects of the full archetypal experience, at the bottom it says mental, and that has to do with your thinking. And so that's where you can play around with this on your own at home without being embarrassed. You'll choose a statement, and we'll start with the mental. And I am committed to living a passionate life is my statement. And then Pamela is going to take us into the physical.
Yeah. So one of the ways that you can access an archetype is through the physical, like Lynn said. And I always call it kind of like an easy hack to get into that archetype. And just to demonstrate how the physical, the mental, and all of these realms are interconnected, I want to do a little experiment with you. So if you're at home watching this, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and stand up. We'll all stand up. Now, let's take Lynn's statement of how she wanted to activate the lover. I am committed to living a passionate life. So kind of think about that. And now what I want you to do is, we're going to have lover too little. We're going to kind of feel, we're a wallflower, kind of like let your body kind of take you to a space of not feeling well received, not feeling good about yourself. Just really take in that moment. And now say out loud, I am committed to living a passionate life.
I am committed to living a passionate life.
Notice how that feels. To me, it doesn't resonate. There's a disconnect. So now we're going to demonstrate the opposite. Imagine, take your arms and lift them up high. And Heather was talking about the beauty of the planet, or the beauty of a culture you're maintaining, or the beauty of a lover. Just imagine that for yourselves and really look around and see the beauty and say now out loud, I am committed to living a passionate life.
I am committed to living a passionate life.
Yes.
Makes me smile.
Right. And so while we're in that and we're feeling that, I'm committed to living a passionate life. I want you to just take a second and imagine what that would look like for you if you were really fully committed and you felt it in your body and you knew it in your head and you're imagining what that would look like. It's going to look different for all of us, and that's okay. And so what I'm imagining is that I'll be listening to live music and watching a sunset and drinking some delicious wine and looking into my lover's eyes and having some chocolate. You might be imagining something different. I'm also imagining my dog and snuggling up on the couch because it's kind of cold and having a crackling fire. There's so many different ways you can imagine all the future possibilities. And then I want you to just reach into your heart and check in with your heart and see as you think that thought, I am committed to living a passionate life, and your open gesture and your body is in agreement, in alignment with that, and you're imagining this passionate life. What emotion do you feel in your heart? And so I'm going to ask Pamela and Heather because there are participants right now. If you guys were here, I would ask you, what are you feeling in your heart right now, Pamela?
Peace, grounding, and joy.
Hmm. What about you, Heather?
Deep gratitude the joy and the delight of being able to have a body and a home and a life where I can be creative, co-creative with God. It's just like, how blessed am I?
Mhm. Yes. And it makes me want to, I'm at work right now. It actually makes me want to go home and pick up my guitar and write a song. It makes me feel inspired. So,
Mm, yeah.
next.
So what we're going to do you'll as you go through this program with us, again, we're talking about the physical and the hack into an archetype. So each archetype, there is a gesture that goes along with it. And so what we're going to do for you today is the gesture that goes with the lover to help you also embody that. So I'm going to ask you again, get up on your feet if you're not already. Plant your feet firmly. And now imagine that you are walking into a cafe and you've perhaps made an appointment to meet up with a dear friend who you haven't seen in a long time. You walk in, it's cold outside, you open the door and it's crowded and you spot that dear friend over there in the corner and your eyes connect. And that spark that's there immediately. That's kind of what the feeling is that goes with the gesture that I'm trying to help you conjure up. And then the gesture, I'll do it for you, and then we'll do it together. So the gesture is you touch your fingers to your heart, and then as you draw the globe, you say, I relish the beauty of the world. And then you take like little sparks, and I delight in others. And you kind of flit with your fingers. So let's all do it together. We'll just do it once. There are recordings, so you can do this as many times as you like. Imagine that friend. You've spotted them in the corner. You come in, and there's that joy, that spark. So, hands to the heart. I relish the
I
beauty of the world,
relish the beauty of the world.
and
World,
I delight in others.
and I delight
Light
in
in others.
others. Do you feel that? And one of the things that we want you to do is to use this, to feel this, and open to that. It's like I feel when someone comes to a party in my home, you're here.
Hmm.
Team. It's that I relish the beauty of the world and I delight in others. It lifts every part of my being because, we're here to love and be loved. And I want to remind you to look at your page 6, because this is more than we're going to present, of course, in this video. But these are 6 reminders of all these dimensions that you carry that isn't just the romantic lover. So it's the lover as presence. What we just did when you show up with in presence with another person and how you are in the essence of love, that energy of life. Then the lover is sensualist, where, like Lynn said, the chocolate, you could taste the chocolate when she mentioned it. The lover is alchemist. Alchemist means we transform something, where we take something and, when Pamela had us down and stating that beautiful statement, we can transform it by just changing our embodiment or our thoughts or our feelings. The lover is magnetism. People are drawn to us when we're happy, when we're loving. The lover is devotion, where we have, when we have love for someone, devotion is effortless. It is just the trust and the knowing that we naturally feel deeply. And then the lover, of course, as the beloved. And this sometimes is the beloved of a friend, an advisor, of course, our partner, of course, as a child to our own parents. So we're working to connect you with expanding into saying, oh, yes, I am a lover. And so then, next slide, please. we'll look at what's been missing for you so that you can be future fit with the lover. And what change do you need and want now? So we would go around if you were in present with us. But for now, Lynn, answering those questions for us, what would you say?
I think that oftentimes as a mom, we can put our lover on the back burner. And especially during these busy times when things kick up with needed things in school. My daughter's going to be graduating this year. And so shifting into thinking about getting all of the things ready for them. And we can put ourselves on the back burner and forget that we have this other way of relating. And we can even do that sometimes with our partner, where we shift into kind of being a parent to our partner and being the one who's, like you're late from you're getting home late from work, and instead of I miss you and I'd like to see you. That's just and so then it puts them in the teenager role where they feel in trouble and we're scolding the other person for not putting the dishes away or feeling like we are feeling resentful that we're doing more than they're doing. And so we can kind of lose our contact with our lover when we become too much in that motherly nurturer role. And next week we'll be going over that, but that's one of the things that I have to be aware of when I'm in that place in my head, in my body, in my heart, to not lead with that when I am with someone that is dear to me, that is someone that if I related to them as a lover, I would definitely enjoy it more, and they would too.
And I'm thinking, as Lynn shared that, how are you personalizing it for yourself? And now Pamela's going to share her experience.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. Totally can relate to that. The one thing that's coming up for me where I, you know, can find myself in the shadow of too little of lover, and what I want to remind myself of is, as I'm building my own business, it's definitely related around how people connect with me. So it is at a very lover um, archetype that we're connecting. And when something goes wrong, or I thought I was going to be working with someone and that doesn't work out, I tend to go to that lack of self-worth. And why don't they like me? What is it about me that they don't appreciate? And I need to remind myself to be more in the space of knowing my own self-worth and recognizing that there are how many people on the planet, and some people will connect with us and others won't. It doesn't matter. Just let that be. And so this is reminding me that, for me, lover, especially now where I'm at, I need to be in the lover of self-worth more in those moments. And, moments like this and this program that we're doing together is I'm on this learning journey too with all of you. I learn from you. I learn from Lynn. I learn from Heather. And so just in this moment taping together, it reminds me that self-worth and being in that lover space is so important for me right now. I need and I want more of that.
Yum. What's been missing for me so I can be future fit? Well, I've done a lot of work in my life, and it's been mostly just thinking and, in my private practice office. And what's been missing is action. And I can see that thread that's come from even my childhood of what's been missing is action. And what change do I need and want now? I need to be able to feel free to move with my own work and to trust my own work. And so partly the next thing is for me to publish my book on designing intimacy. And the lover in that is about my personal life, my the marriage that I had before my husband died, and my love of wanting to share the lover in all of those levels and going into action with it. So I have a book to give birth to, and I'm being brave because I know that what's been missing is I'm not going to write a book the way they've been written in the past. I'm going to give myself the freedom to use my poetry, my art, my poetic voice, the romantic voice, so that yes, it's a practical and scientifically sound system of tools, but I can present it with joy, lightness, love, and the presence of delight as we go into using those tools. Not, I got to use a tool, but oh, I get to do something new. So that's what change I need and want now. Slide. So now we've presented a lot of dimensions about the lover for you today. What did you learn about the lover? And so if you go into your handout, there will be many things you can look at and find which ones mirror you, which ones invite you, which ones inspire you. And in terms of learning more deeply about the lover using our Archetypes at Work tool, let's show you one of the examples. And this is from Lynn's deep work on showing what happens when you really use Archetypes at Work. Slide. Lynn, tell us about this.
Yes, this is a dear client of mine who was gracious to let me use her actual APR results to show a before and after. When we first there's a full archetypal development plan that you can, archetypal preferences report is what I was meaning to say. If you would like to do one of those with one of us, there is you will get this actual pie chart that shows how much each of those archetypes are showing up in your life. It's like a snapshot of what's going on in that moment. And then we take that and we come up with an archetypal development plan and we say, look, that one's really low. We would like to really work on trying to bring this one up. And this particular client really wanted to work on their strategist and warrior. And so if you look at the before picture, those are two of the smallest ones. And then in the after, you can see that the strategist is all the way up there, equal with sovereign. It really improved. And also the warrior improved almost a whole segment there as well. And even though we weren't targeting specifically the other archetypes, sovereign, dreamer, transformer, and renegade also improved in doing this work. And so it's pretty exciting to see that no matter how old we are, we can develop these different parts of ourselves that we just haven't practiced with by using these embodiment tools.
Isn't it incredible to look at the second one, how she's evened out, she's accessing all of her 10 archetypes. It's powerful. And the next slide, Pamela, tell us a little about them getting the report.
So we're excited to offer this to you, like Lynn said. If you're interested, absolutely contact one of us. And normally this would be $350 for the report and then 1 hour of coaching with one of us. But because we are so excited about bringing this to all of you, and we just love this methodology and we love this report, we're going to give it for those of you who are participating in this pilot program. If you're interested, instead of $350, we're offering it for $299. And our contact information is on our site. It's in Facebook. It's in the email. So please feel free to contact one of us and we'll take it from there. It's not an obligation at all, But if you are curious and you're wanting to have the full report, this is our offering to you.
Thank you, Pamela. Yes, as you can tell, it's a thrilling tool. It's very powerful, and it's actually a delight about the lover in this. So next slide, please. Here's a little bit of one of the poems that I wrote for my beloved. So this is my passion and my poetic voice. Tenderness rises to touch your life with the subtlest traces of honoring, respect holding me at bay, unwilling to intrude, though your open arms, your request would have me surrounding you, serving your desires with gossamer kisses and pleasures as sensitive as the brush of butterfly wings. And passion explodes as a pitch of powerful insistency, pleasuring you with my sensual strength, loving your mind through your body, locking onto your eyes with unflinching intensity, a tidal wave begun by the depth of my adoration. And you can see there was a big tradition of Valentine's and adoring my husband every day I possibly could. There was a time before we met when I knew my love lay waiting, and you were a vague hope in my heart. I recognized you at once, and the bond began in this life. A bond like the push of ocean tide, sometimes present, filling senses with movement, awash with drinking your presence, sometimes distant, and a submerged sense of connection to the stability of a love which lay secretly in us, awaiting the time to live the loving. With this feeling, I am fearless, eager to take any risk for my shared journey with you, here and now. I am willing to follow this parallel path wherever it calls us, learning, stumbling, flying, playing, innovating, loving you, loving me, loving us. So page 13 and 14 in your handout help you rehearse. Rehearse the lover for yourself. We trust that this has been inspiring and you're saying, okay, how do I do this? Well, here are some very specific how-tos. You know, if we want to even out all 10 archetypes and you want to expand lover and the gifts of the lover, here are some specific things you can choose to do on your action list. Like take time to rise early in the quiet to write a beautiful book. Make time to look at and appreciate beautiful things, etc. And so, on the last page of your handouts, I put, the lover is not luck. Isn't that beautiful? It's ours. You see, love is not luck. Love is not something that happens to you. Love is a way of life. Love is something you create, moment by moment, gesture by gesture. Love is the work of paying undivided attention. And that work is yours to do. You get to decide where you pay undivided attention. Slide. So what have you done recently that could be the moment someone remembers forever, including you? We hope that this has inspired you and got some lights going on for you, and that you feel the love and the ability to naturally sparkle that love into the world. And so thank you for your attention and your willingness. We are here to inspire you every step of the way. Would you like to bid adieu, Lynn?
Yes, thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to exploring nurture with you next week.
Yep. Pamela?
Same. I'm feeling the love for all of you. I hope you can feel it through the screen. And I'm very passionate about this, and I look forward to being as good as a guide as Heather has been with the Lover for you in the Nurturer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And till next time.